The models for your flower painting project can be found in the Painting Units section of the Moodle sheet. They're called flower models. Just open them up. Make sure that Open With is selected in the box here and then click on OK. It will automatically download and decompress the model file to your Downloads folder. You simply then go and open your Downloads folder on the dock. It will contain two files, the zip file and the decompressed folder file. Remember that you can resize the window by dragging on the corner, and you can use the slider at the bottom to make the thumbnails larger and smaller. You should be able to just scroll through the window and view all the thumbnails. When you find one you would like to look at closely, right-click on it and select Open with Photoshop. When you have found the image you want to draw, the first thing you want to do is select Mode from the Image menu and change the mode to Grayscale. Accept the size ratio 1 and click on OK. Then you need to pull down the Select menu and choose All. This will select the entire image. We'll then go over to the Edit menu and use the Copy command to copy the whole image. We're then going to create a new Photoshop document. Pull down the File menu and select a new. When this dialog box comes up, you can go ahead and give it a name like My Flower Model or something appropriate. The name is really not important. You do need to change the preset size to International Paper and then confirm that it is A4. It will automatically set the width, but you need to make sure that the resolution is at 300 and then the color mode is grayscale. When you've done this, you can click on the OK button. Now that we have an A4 drawing page, we can pull down the Edit menu and choose Paste, and it will paste the flower we copied from our model down. And you can use the Move tool to just roughly position the flower in the center of the page. The next step is to pull down the View menu and select Show. And then when the Show cascading menu comes up, select Grid. This will superimpose a grid behind our painting. This grid is just for viewing. It will not print. Then go to the Preferences menu and choose Grids, Guides, and Slices. When the Preferences dialog box comes up, you can choose any color for the grid you like. I suggest red or blue. Leave the style at line. Dashes and dots don't really work very well. You want to have the size set to inches, and you want to have one guideline and two subdivisions. If you don't like the color selections over in Custom, you can click on the box here and select any color you like from the regular color selector. When you get a color you like, just go ahead and click on OK. Here we have the grid. The nice thing about this grid is you can zoom in and the grid stays consistent. You can see here we've zoomed in where we can see all of the fine details, and we still have the grid lines to use as a reference to help us draw the image. We're now ready to begin the process of labeling the grid. So we'll select the text tool, select the font Arial, set the style to regular and the font size to 24. We'll make sure smoothing is turned on, and we'll set the paragraph alignment to left justified. Then go over and insert the text cursor at the top of the document and type in the capital letters A through H. Use the Move tool to align the A in the center of the first square in the upper left-hand corner. We'll then align all of the letters by inserting the cursor behind the A and inserting enough spaces to line the B up in the center of the second square. Then we'll insert the cursor behind the B and insert enough spaces to center the C in the next square. Just continue this process until you've centered each letter in the center of one of the squares going across the top of the document. Choose the Move tool And then make sure that the text layer over in the Layers menu is selected. Pull down the Layer menu and select Duplicate Layer. Click on the OK button of the dialog box that appears, and you'll notice you now have two text layers. One is right on top of the other, so just pull one of the letters down all the way to the bottom of the document and make sure that the A is centered in the square in the lower left-hand corner. We're going to now number the squares going down. We'll get the text tool again. Make sure Arial regular 24 point and smooth is selected, but we need to change the alignment to center. Then you want to insert the cursor in the square right under the A. Type in the numbers 2 through 11 with a return between each one. Type 2 return, 3 return, 4 return, etc. Then get the Move tool and center the 2 in the center of the second box in the upper left-hand corner. You're then going to insert the cursor behind the letter 2 and change the font size from 24 to 36 point, and then do a return. Then insert the cursor after the number 3, change the font size to 36 point, and insert another return. This will automatically line up all of the numbers down the side of the document. Insert the cursor, change the font size to 32, press return. Continue this process until you have a space between each number. Make sure that the numbers are selected, and then pull down the Layer menu, select Duplicate Layer, click on the OK button in the dialog box, and then drag off the duplicate layer and put it on the other side of the document, lined up with the center of the second square. At this point, it's a good idea to lock the text layers so they don't move around. So click on the layer over in the Layers palette and then click on the little lock icon. That will lock the layers so they cannot be accidentally moved. Make sure Layer 1 is selected. This is the layer that contains your flower drawing. Pull down the Edit menu and choose Free Transform. This will allow you to change the size of your image. If you drag on the center handle on the side, it makes the image narrower. If you drag on the center handle on the top or the bottom, it makes the image shorter. What you want to do is make sure you drag on the handles in the corner. This will resize your image proportionally. It will get larger and smaller without becoming distorted. You want to resize your image so that it does not extend into the rows that contain the letters or the rows that contain the numbers. This will make sure that you have a proper margin all the way around the image when you paint it. You then want to go ahead and save the document. Pull down the File menu, select Save, and save it in the Photoshop format. This will maintain the layers. Then you can go ahead and close it, and you can also close the model drawing. You do not need to save the changes in the model.